is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
No. There's no Jesse Holley on this show right now. Because Jesse can't get time straight. We'll let him explain when he gets here.
Man of reason.
But he texted me about 10 minutes before the show and said 10 or 10:30. And right then I knew there's no way he's getting here at 10.
Nope.
So, Lysol can.
Do we need to put that up there?
Yeah, go get it. That way he won't have to struggle too much when he gets here. Going to be a weird show today. We're on at 10. So for those of you that are tuning in expecting something else, I'm sorry ahead of time. I apologize. This is probably not the show that you want to listen to. But give it a shot.
Sure. Is it normally talking break?
I don't
or
even.
Cowboys break?
I don't even know.
Talking Cowboys.
Who's at 10, Kyle?
So nobody's usually at 10. Garrett comes on at 10:35,
Yeah.
and then 11 is talking Cowboys. So nothing really is missing. It's just we're adding Hangin to this time slot.
So in other words, not only are no one is tuning in to expect something else, no one that normally tunes in to see us is going to know we're on at 10.
Yeah.
So basically, our 18 listeners just went down to maybe one. Look at that.
Oh,
11 minutes early.
must not have been any Frisco cops.
Hey, Jesse. How are you? Okay, explain to everybody. Why are you late?
I was giving back to the youth of America.
There we go.
I want to say something so bad, but it's really inappropriate, so I'm going to
The
refrain.
children are our future.
Okay.
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Okay.
Show the beauty that they
Yeah,
all
I know the
possess
song. I know the
inside.
song. What?
Give them a sense of pride. No, I was I was speaking this morning.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I was speaking this morning at Townsell Elementary School.
Okay. What do you speak about when you go to those things? You just tell them how to participate?
Yes. How to get a participation grade.
No, what do you do when you go to speaking engagements
Well,
like
today I was Is my mic on?
that? Yeah, you're on. You're good.
I'm on?
Yep.
My headphones are not sounding great.
Oh. Mess around under the
there
back.
we go.
Yeah.
I was correlating how education and athletics go hand in hand.
Okay.
And talking to a bunch of fourth graders. Teach them how to, build good study habits. How every day in the classroom that you don't come in and prepare and maximize every opportunity is a day that you lessen your opportunity to be successful. Mm-hmm. And I just use football and life correlations to education.
Okay. I like
so there's
that.
math, there's reading, there's science, there's cognitive skills, there's reading comprehension. All of those things happen in athletics. So if you think that you're going to be able to do what I've done in my life as playing at the highest level in athletics, that you don't need education, then you're sadly mistaking yourselves.
That's a great message.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Spoke to 3 classes this morning.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We excuse you. That's worthy of being not on time. That's totally acceptable.
4 minutes. I was 4 minutes late.
You were. Hey, Nate, how you doing?
Hey, good morning. How you fellas doing?
Good. How are
doing
you?
well. Did you get the numbers you're looking
Nate's
for?
working on
Yeah,
something
just
It took you 45 minutes to get those sack numbers last time.
yeah, and I started about an hour early on this. I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I believe that we have to score 30 points, Jesse. I really do.
This week.
30, 35 points. But I just cannot get away from 2 things.
What's that?
And this travels and this stabilizes team. I cannot get away from running the ball. I cannot get away from playing defense. And I cannot get away from good special teams. Because when I'm putting these numbers together and these defensive numbers, everything is close. But what does it is the takeaways. What does it is the interceptions and the turnovers. And the hidden yardage of what your special teams can do. All of that highlights and accent your offense. So if you do have a potent offense, it takes you over the top. And it's a shame that here everything has to go through our offense. Everything is maintained through our offense. You cannot go anywhere in the playoffs unless you have that elite, exceptional quarterback. You stuck. If you stuck. Because we're not going to do nothing special team-wise to take us over the top. We're going to do anything defensive-wise to help the offense. Everything is predicated. We got to keep the ball 34 minutes. We got to score on every possession. And that gives our offense, that gives our defense a chance to rest, to not be on the field to be exposed. And that gives and we can't punt because our punter is the worst in net and gross. So if you're relying on one thing, that's our offense.
It's a lot of pressure.
Hey, since we're going down, since Nate just wanted to come out of the gate with how we're not going to win this game and there's no chance that we're going to win this game, I'm going to give you. I have 4 stats today, Jesse.
Stop, man.
I have two that are bad, so
Right.
this plays into Nate, and 2 that might give you a little bit of hope. Okay?
Okay.
It's too early in the morning. Like after lunch, I get it.
Right. I'm sorry, man.
This early in the morning, everybody's grumpy anyway because they just got out of
I'm
bed.
good, man. I had my coffee. I'm
And
jacked,
they wanted to tune into this show at 10 o'clock in the morning to be like,
Yeah.
you know what? These guys are going to talk me into thinking we have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, we are. And by the time this show over with, I will be there. I will promise you
All
I'll
right,
be there.
here's a couple stats.
Yes,
now,
sir.
Nick Eatman is working on an article with Lindsey Cash, and it's called Big Facts. It's going to be on the website later today. And Nick was nice enough to give me the article ahead of time, and there's 4 big things that jumped out to me.
Okay.
Here's 2 that go along kind of what you're saying. The Cowboys are still winless versus top 10 defenses. The Cowboys haven't beaten a team with a top 10 defense all year. They're 0-4. They've lost to the Bills, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Bears. The Rams come in with the number 8 total defense, allowing 325.5 yards per game. Jalen Ramsey doesn't have any picks, but he's increased the sack numbers. Just alone, since Ramsey's joined the team, the Rams' sack numbers have doubled since he got to LA. In the 6 games before he arrived, the Rams had 12 sacks, averaging 2 per game. In the 7 games he's played, the Rams have 30 sacks, averaging 4.2 sacks.
What did they give Wade? Wade don't care about what's up front, but give him some corners.
I can
He
create
did
pressure.
that in Denver. Yeah, he can create pressure through the word that we don't use around here, scheme. We don't use that a lot around here. You know, so
Good way.
Give me some guys that can cover, and I can manufacture pressure.
yeah.
Just hold them up on the back end for a little bit. Make them have to think twice. Make them have to go to the second and third read, and I can get guys.
I got a scheme question. Let's just go from a defensive side of the ball since we're talking about Wade. When you talk about schemes, and you're like, I don't think this team and this staff scheme well on either side of the ball.
Right,
I think
right.
they say this is what we're going to do. This is what we are. We're going to run this defense,
Yeah.
this offense, whatever. Scheming defenses, scheming offense, whatever. You look at how does that work? Do you look at it game by game? Okay, what does this team do in this situation so I can get pressure by running this scheme when they're in this alignment or this formation or whatever? Or if do you scheme based by team or do you scheme
Based by team.
Is it team? It's a
Team
week to
by
week
team,
deal, right?
team by team. The better teams with the better guys, better approach. I don't want to say coaches or players. I'm not into that. But the guys that have the better understanding of what it is game by game. You go in as a coach, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jess. You go in as a coach, you see what works against them, what has hurt them, and what they're good at. And you try to see what the last team did. So do you have that personnel to be able to accomplish what this last team did? And even if you don't, find a way to attack their weaknesses. See, Jason makes it simple, and it kind of makes people think that he's not smart, but we know better. He's smarter than that. We do what we do. No, he don't. He watched films of the last game. He watched the last 4 games and what can hurt them. Now, do you have the personnel to get that or a scheme to get that? Now, but where his flaw is where we going to do what we do. Doing what you do will get you beat 9 times out of 10 in this league because this league continuously evolve and get better and break down game by game. This coach said everything that Jason said. Oh, I like what Kellum is doing. I like what this guy is doing. But believe me, Sean McVay, like, what has killed these dudes? Mm-hmm. And we going to do what has killed these dudes because we have the athletes and the talent to do it. And then he's going to have 4 or 5 plays, offensive and defensive, that we ain't seen or been used to. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. And when you're scheming, you kind of want to scheme to dictate the pace.
Yes, sir.
Right? I'm scheming, but I'm dictating the scheme. Right? I want to be the aggressor. I don't want to be the reactor. Mm-hmm. So in my scheming, I want to scheme to a place where you now have to adjust, not us always having to do the adjustments. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, Jason watches a ton of film. People think he just sits in his office and listens to music
motivational tapes.
No, he watches a ton of film.
Do they ever surprise anybody? Do they show them things they haven't seen?
I think consistently,
No.
And we've seen him. He'll throw a wrinkle here and there, but when it comes down to it, what are you willing to do to win the game? Are you willing to abandon your comfort zone to win a football game? Mm-hmm. I don't think Coach Garrett is.
He's not a gambler.
Right.
He's not going to take that chance.
I don't think he's willing to. I don't think he's willing to abandon what his philosophy is to win a football game.
And if you think that's what his
in
whole...
the middle of a football game at that.
Yeah, his whole coaching tenure here has been that way. He wears the same thing to the press conference. He opens it up the exact same way. David Moore asked the first question. Like, everything that he does is predictable. And it's, and it's because that's his, I guess, his message is consistency. He's always consistent. And that, I guess that translates to the field. It's like what we talk about. You script the first few plays. And then what? And then what?
But let me say this.
Come on, Nate.
Let me say this right here.
Nate.
Let me say this right here. Nate. Don't be easily distracted. See, that's the problem over there. That's not us be this. All right.
I like how you use that to get that off your head.
Passionate too. Passionate too.
Nah, let me say this right here. And I agree with Jason Garrett 100%.
On what?
In the way he does things. Mm-hmm. I agree with him 100%. If he had Troy Aikman, Mike Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders, Charles Haley, our offensive line, and our defensive line, I agree that we can go in every game and smash everybody the same way. But we don't have that over there. It's nowhere near that over there. So when you don't have that, I go back to the Cooper Rush theory. Do everything in your power to make sure that you've covered every base to help these kids win. That's the problem. Your scheme does not fit your personnel. Your will and desire does not fit your personnel. Jalen is not Ken Norton. I know this because I see this. I know this because I practice. I watch practice. Ken Norton can basically take over our practices defensively and calling the plays, running the scout team, telling guys, hey, man, you ain't lined up right. This ain't what I seen on film. Charles Haley will come to me and say, I need you to do this, Nate, and this, because this is what they do in the game. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's a different dude, man. Mm-hmm. And after games, if we lost, you would be nervous to walk up on these guys as a media type. Be like, hey, y'all right? Is it cool? you get what I'm saying? Yeah. I know it's a different breed of cat, but the scheme you're running was for a different breed of cat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was called dominance. It's called dominance. We're not dominant. You can't just do that. Coach Rashad came from a dominant backfield, defensive backfield with dominant defense. It's not that anymore. you have to change. You have to. It's not dominant. In Seattle, it was dominant. Those guys we talking about where they can do, hey, man, we running this same scheme, and we know how to do it. We know what can hurt us. You know, Sherman used to tell his boy in the back there, hey, man, I'm finna do this. I'm finna jump this. And they knew just how to figure it out. They knew just how to say, okay, I got that covered. I will give them this look coming out of the huddle, but we'll fall back into this. That's a lot of communication. That calls God. That's a trust that you have to have with your teammate to know, like, hey, man, I'm jumping this route, bro. So what's the big bruiser?
Cam Chancellor.
Cam Chancellor said, Cam, you cannot get up in the line. You cannot be the eighth man. He finna jump this, bro. You got to stay back here. Because if they go over the top, I'm gonna have to be over here. You gonna have to be over there. And they knew this, and they talked about it. I don't see them dudes talking until over, and everybody be like, wow.
It reminded me. So I heard it on the radio this morning. I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on it. It ties in a little bit. They were interviewing somebody from the Mavs personnel, and they were talking about Luka Doncic. And the guy said one of the traits for Luka was that he played hard. That was his aggressiveness. And he said coaches can't teach players to play hard.
They can't.
That's effort.
They can't, man.
How can I teach effort? I can't teach effort.
That's a gimme, man. That's a gimme. So, you know, you rarely hear me just directly criticize a player like I do Tristan Hill. You know why? Because if you don't even try, how can I coach you? If you don't give no effort, how can I coach you? All right, cool. All right. Hey, man, I need you to get in this A gap, and I need you to hit this thing 90 going off. I ain't asked you to do nothing else. Well, coach, can I at least, grab the guy? Or you find it. You're trying to find an excuse not to even go hard. How can I coach you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, effort is one of the most frustrating things when it comes to a coach, because that should almost be a given.
Yes.
Like that should come, batteries included.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you don't come with effort, then everything else I can't work with this.
I don't even know if you're taking the right step.
Like,
I don't even know what you know.
Like effort a coach should never have to question effort. At this level, nah, that's little league stuff, man. When the kids we had in here the other day, they got effort problems. Right? The South Lake Dragons, the pop one, they got effort problems. You a professional football player, it shouldn't be an effort problem. You shouldn't that word should never, like, as a player, I never wanted a coach to have to question my effort. Like, you may question some other thing. All right, Jesse, you ain't 4'3". All right, cool, you can question that. I ain't 4'3". Jesse, you listen, you can't bench press the house. All right, cool, coach, I can't bench press the house. I'm gonna give you what I got 315, I got 340. Yeah, you're right, I can't do 385. You're right, I'm a 4'5", I ain't a 4'3". Coach can't never question my effort. Like that is just something that a coach should never, ever, ever have to, and coaches will tell you, especially those who they're really trying to get in position, like to really play, they'll go, listen, even if you do it wrong, do it 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. That was it. Now, we talked about guys falling into playing hero ball and all that. Is that a lack of effort, or is that a misdirected effort, I guess?
Before you go there, I'm going to finish this here. Joel Embiid, one of the best young centers in the game. 3 nights ago, Charles Barkley said, this is a shame. This is a waste of talent. This dude out here shooting threes, ain't doing what he's supposed to do, giving a half an effort. He didn't say it as nice as what we're saying it. and that got back to Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid and one of his guys on his team said, man, Charles telling the truth. You are a stud, and you're not helping us win. And he came on, you're right. And so I want to see from this point on, what will he do? Because I promise you, his coach and his GM say, thank you, Charles.
Oh, he had 38 and 12 the other night.
Yeah.
He had 38 and 12.
Like, thank you, Charles, for somebody saying something to this kid.
He had 38 and 12.
Now, that's selfishness you talking about.
There's still effort there. It's just
it's the word is called selfishness.
Hang on to that. let's talk about that. Let's take a break because we got to come back, make sure we're back on for Coach's press conference. But we'll talk about effort/selfishness when we come back on Hanging with the Boys.
The Cowboys Way, where Thanksgiving means spending the day with 100,000 of your closest family and friends to watch the game live. Where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships show us what success looks like. Where we're all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans have the power to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys Way. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America.
Copyright 2019, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score, September 2019.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
All right, we're back. Kurt.
Oh, underwear, sorry.
Draw.
Tailgating can be sweaty work, the unloading, the grilling, the games of
cornhole.
Make sure your tail remains sweat-free with Tommy John's, the breathable, moisture-wicking underwear. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear to keep Go to TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Words are
too early.
Hard. All right, we're going to have Jason Garrett here in probably about 10 minutes, so I may cut you fellas off mid-sentence when he walks up because we have to go straight to that. So we were talking about effort, and then that transitioned into Nate bringing up the word selfish. What do you mean by that?
It is Troy Aikman had a great arm. Troy Aikman could have came to this team and threw 3,000-4,000 yards every year. Nobody would have questioned it. We probably would have won a lot of games, probably not a lot of Super Bowls. But he tampered down his will to throw the ball to make sure Emmitt Smith got off, to make sure Michael Irvin got off, to make sure everybody was comfortable with what was happening. And when he needed to, he tried to take over games. But he knew that our running game was key to what we were doing. And so he decided that he would sacrifice a little bit of his stats so that the team would be better. You know, if I was supposed to go through, you know, I've heard Russell Maryland tell guys, even I was a great player, played for the Raiders. He would come up to me and during the Pro Bowls, and we would see each other. I can't even think of his name. Big old dude out of Clemson. He was nice. He was like, man, your boy Russ, man, he a good player, man. He keep everybody in the right gaps, right. You know, he'll see a hole. He said, man, that play coming right there. And they say, shoot it, Russ, shoot it. He's like, nah, man, I got to stay within the integrity of the defense. And it would be a 3-yard gain, but if he'd have shot the gap, it would have been a loss. But he stayed within the integrity of the game, of his gap, so the defense can keep his integrity. So you do have players that can step out of line and make great plays, but for the most part, your better players and your unselfish players are going to stay within the integrity of the offense and the defense. Now, like Jesse did with Tony, where Tony said, hey, man, this is a better play. Let's do this. But you still have the whole team within the integrity of what's happening. Now, the coach may not know what's happening over there, but them 11 guys on that field that counts, if it got to execute this, know what's happening. So when you run through a whole wide open lead and miss the tackle, and all of a sudden the dude like in his gap, and the dude's like, wow, why this dude running through this hole? And they see a dude way up the field. That's selfishness, brother. That's I'm going to get mine and be damned what the team get.
And that goes back to the comment you brought up either earlier this week or last week where Coach said they're going to quit playing those guys, right?
Yeah.
Those are the guys he's talking about, though, are the guys that are doing their own thing.
Yeah. But how long has the doing your own thing has been happening?
Yeah.
Right? And again, that's the fickle thing about a locker room, because the ebbs and flow of a season can be this, it goes the same in the locker room. They can say all they want, oh, we don't listen to the outside noise. You're commenting on it now because you've heard the outside noise.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't listen to the outside noise, you would have no idea what we're talking about.
Right.
And the day and time that we live in right now, it's impossible to miss anything.
Right.
And so we're creatures of habit. And when we start seeing things, we naturally adjust we just naturally adjust. And so if I'm seeing patterns being able to be allowed in the locker room, in practice, in meetings, then I adjust with that. And how long have guys been doing willy-nilly stuff? Because it may have started with one.
And is that something you can tell on film, or is that stuff you just have to be in that room to know this guy's been doing his own
you can
thing?
tell on film.
Some plays you can tell, like, how is this guy running wide open? Somebody blew assignment because the defense ain't never be. A guy may be running behind a guy. Like I may be running behind Jesse like this, but Jesse to that wall and running free? Nah, dog.
Like the play you said a couple of weeks ago when it was a cover 2 and the receivers running up the field inside and the cornerback and they looking at each other like, what's happening? No, I know what a cover 2 look like. I know a cover 2, you ain't supposed to let nobody inside.
Yeah.
So it don't take a rocket science to know that. So when you see it, I'm like, wait a second. He ain't supposed to be what?
So sometimes that could be the guy didn't know the defense or didn't know what he was his responsibility was, or is it he just says, I'm doing my own thing?
No, let me cut you off.
Okay.
Just think what you just said. Just think what he just said. That means that the guy who's on the defense, been in the defense, don't know the defense?
I don't know. I'm asking.
But that's what it goes back to, right? It goes back to.
How do you not know a defense you've been seeing
I
for
heard
5
there's been
years?
guys on this team that played here for 7 or 8 years that didn't know how to run routes. I don't know. I'm assuming that I've heard that, and that's a real thing.
So to be a route runner and know what the route you're supposed to run is two different things.
Right.
Now, there's been guys here who know what route to run. They just can't run routes.
Yeah.
It could be that it's a different, there's different types of defenses. One guy just misreads what defense they're supposed to be in. Or whatever.
No, you can't misread a defense.
And that's what I think.
But this is the thing, is that, okay, even if you've done that, right? How consistently are you doing
Nate, we're
this?
civilians. We don't know the answers to all. That's why we're asking.
I'm asking you a
we're
question.
learning.
Okay. They gave you those Cowboy huddle shirts. Somebody gave you those shirts.
Yes, Miss.
Am I correct?
Miss Charlotte Jones.
Miss Charlotte Jones say on this day at this time, I want you to put on the Cowboys huddle shirt for 100, right? She asked y'all to do that, right? Mm-hmm. That's like you walking in saying, okay, where's my shirt and when do I supposed to put it on? That's how dumb that sounds. And that's for real. Hey man, we've been doing this since OTAs, cover 2. Corners, press everybody outside. Safeties, you get your behind down the seam. Linebackers, you drop back into your zones. Y'all, cover 2. That's the call. Jalen, cover 2. Backside, cover 2. Break the huddle. Now, you run out there and say, I don't know the defense.
We just see guys, it seems like one's
they looked that lost.
One's playing man, one's playing zone, that kind of thing.
But that is the guy that said, you know what? Forget pressing that guy outside. They're going to throw this ball inside. I'm going to run inside. Selfish.
See, that's what we didn't know. Because to me and Kurt, we think, okay, the guy wasn't real sure what coverage they were in. To you, you're saying, no, they always know what coverage they're in. They know where they're supposed to be. They just try to do something different on their own.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, people aren't perfect, right? You have a mistake here and there. Mm-hmm. But again, it goes back to how often are we making these mistakes? And then when one guy goes rogue, and then another guy goes, you got too many guys going rogue.
And nobody's telling nobody. And nobody
communicating nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, especially defensively, that is the number one thing defensively. If you're not communicating, because everything is so essential on me knowing what you. Because if I got an outside rush and you go, no, you know, listen, I'm gonna go outside. You just we both can't go there. But if you don't tell me and you decide to go rogue and say, I saw this play in practice, and I go outside and you go outside, and that running back jump cut back inside, ain't nobody there for him.
Like Delvin Cook did.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things, and the same thing, you know, offensively. It's when Dak IDs the mic, all right, offensive lineman, that's number 5. That is the 5th guy. You have him.
Yeah.
At back, you have anybody else. Right? That's community. You see it, and then you'll see the tackle will go, you know, he'll tap his butt one way or another, let the back know, hey, I'm going inside, you got outside. I'm going outside, you got inside. But here's what we got. Receivers, you should know, hey, if there's 5 in there and there's one more coming and you the hot man on that side, you got to cut your route off.
And I'm going to tell you something, Kurt, man, because, boy, you got me thinking now.
That's hard to do, Kurt. Good job.
When I'm a wide receiver and it's 2 on this side and I have a tight end on this side, I got to know that this tight end got to be seen as the end man of the line. Now, your kid know that in Part 1 of football. Tell me I'm wrong. We got to see this tight end. Now, your kid know this, and tell me how we get a big play, and all of a sudden, dude catch the ball and run down. What up? Well, you covered up the tight end, brother.
All you gotta do is look in. Oh, that's Jason Witten.
Brother,
no way I can be on the ball when he's on the ball.
Ask your sons, the kids that play football, say, hey, is a tight end to your side, can you cover him up? Just ask him that question. No, man, wait. Come on, uncle or daddy, you should know better than that. Well, you need to tell some of them dudes. And like I said, mistakes happen because I was a walking mistake. But not in tight situations. Not when it counted the most.
Not when I need to get myself out of this losing situation.
Yes.
Can you, if it's been going on all year, can you fix that at this point in the season, or is it just like, man, if they're going to win, they're going to have to overcome it? It's going to take a
colossal effort by coaches, players, and anybody around them. You know, I remember, I told y'all this story before, and I'll repeat it again. I was at Deion Sanders' house when he was out in Frisco, and I come around the corner, and Ray Lewis is sitting there. And this is the year before Flacco them went on this amazing run. I said, "What's up, homie?" You know, Ray waiting to talk. He's a walking hype guy. You know, like, you know, homie, let me tell you. I said, Ray, what's gonna define you? He looked at me and taking about 30 seconds. He thought about it. He said, if I can make my team believe that through doing their jobs is the most important thing in the world, we can win the Super Bowl. If I can get this guy to know that he's supposed to be in this A-gap and he hang on for everything he got, we can win games. And I looked at him like, oh. He said, man, we're not as strong as we used to be. We don't have these studs at every position like we used to be. But if I can get guys to believe that if you do your job, we can win the Super Bowl. I'm looking at Ray. I went around the corner, popped me a couple of bills, laughing. Guess what he did next year?
Won the Super Bowl.
Can I add on to that?
I said, wow.
Can I add on to that? From the person who helped Ray win that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Ed Reed was on that one of those HBO specials with Joe Buck, and he was talking about that Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
And now here's what you're saying. You're 2 bona fide leaders: Ed Reed, Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame players. Ray Lewis is saying, if I can get guys to believe that doing their job is the most important thing in the world.
Right.
In the Joe Buck interview, Ed Reed said, if I can get guys to do the little things. And his quote was, he said, man, I used to get on guys in the locker room about cleaning up after yourselves. He said, we had volunteer firefighters and firemen that would come in and just wanted to be around the team, but they would come clean the locker room up. And he was like, we had guys who would cut their tape off from me out of practice and shoot it at the basket, at the garbage can and miss it and leave it there, 2 feet from your locker. And he's like, I would go around and say, hey, dog, pick that up. He's like, man, these people, he said, man, people that come in here and clean up shouldn't have to clean up after us.
Yeah.
They can come in here and vacuum because there's dirt on the floor, whatever, but they shouldn't be picking up your ball of tape.
Thank you, man.
That's 2 feet away from your locker that's right in front of the garbage can that you missed. And it was something, think about, like, it sounds minuscule. Right. It sounds minuscule, but here it is. You have leader 1A saying, if I can get everyone to believe that their job, doing their job is the most important thing, and leader 1B is saying, if I can get guys to do the little things, we can win it all. He never said nothing about if we can have the most talented team, if we can have the strongest team, the fastest team. It was doing your job and doing the little things. Doing the little things within your job will give us the opportunity to be successful. We got some good players, but we don't have enough. Talking about having guys to do their job, believing that your job, whatever, if your job is to do nothing but just clog up the A gap, if your job is to do nothing but run decoy routes, then you have to believe that is the most important job there is on this earth, and you have to run that decoy route. Whether you get the ball 100 times or you get the ball 0 times, run it like your life depends on it.
I'm telling you.
And the little things of it is, don't run it halfway. Because the one time you run it halfway is the one time we're going to come to you and you won't get it. And that can be the difference between winning and losing a game, a series, a season, a Super Bowl. And you can go back and ask all those teams who won Super Bowls. We got a guy who won 3 of them. It's doing your job. Yeah, talent, you need talent. Talent is great to have. But doing your job and then doing the little things within your job.
So if I'm hearing you guys right, it's more of a mentality off the field that carries over to on the field, and it's
in most cases, yes. But
you got to have the talent, obviously.
But you're gonna have knuckleheads like me. But when you walk in the locker room, remember now, these guys, he took it to another level in that locker room. You know, take care of your business. Then you take it to the field. And I don't want to say this and people take it the wrong way, but Hardball did not have to worry about the small things. His players took care of the small things. That's why you heard me say the other day, the other good y'all somebody did a good job. And it's just been bothering me that, okay, we know Jason Garrett's faith, but these other dudes that's going to be left in his locker room, is they going to take that same foolishness to the next coach. Because Ray Lewis went through a coaching change, but Ray Lewis didn't change. The next coach came in and said, wow, ain't much I have to do because Ray ain't going to let you step in the wrong gap. Ed going to have you lined up back there. And if anybody jumping routes, he going to tell you, hey, man, look for this, look for this, look for this. And Ed going to automatically be easing over that way because he done already alerted you. And that's why I'm saying Kent Norton would tell us. You would hear him in practice saying, I right, power right, hey, man, look at this. Counter tray off of this, draw off of this. And he would name out 3 serious plays that can come off of this. And the rest you rally to. And so I'm saying that, wow, I mean, Sean Lee has that ability, but now Sean Lee is so old. You can see on film where Sean Lee can see things. But he's so old now, so beat up, he just can't get there. You see Sean Lee fall off of tackles and you be like, wow. That Sean Lee 3 years ago would have been hitting that for no gain or loss.
And you can really see now why he was so good.
Yeah.
Because if you just watch him in zero, he goes where the play's going almost every single play.
He know.
It's just he's half a step or an arm tackle.
Right.
But it's obvious now, like you used to just think he's just a great athlete. But now you can see, like, he goes exactly where the ball's going.
The mental part for Sean Lee, I told Bruce Carter this. When they drafted Bruce Carter here, he was a Tar Heel guy, and I told Bruce Carter, I said, Bruce, wherever Sean goes, you need to go.
Yes.
Whatever Sean has for lunch, if he farts, you should be able to tell us what he has.
Yeah.
I said, because Bruce, you have a gift of athleticism. I mean, you ran a 4.4. You look like somebody put you together in a factory.
Right.
You can lift a house, but that does us no good if you going left and the play going right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need you to be going, because if you go the right way, you're so dynamic. Bruce didn't listen. There was never a doubt Sean Lee, the mental part of the game for him,
right.
He is superior. He knows how to diagnose it, where to go, when it's coming. The problem now is
getting there. Youth
has defeated him.
Yes.
That's the only thing now. Health has defeated him. He just can't, and it never fails. The athlete is always the last one to know you ain't got it. Because mentally, I'm still saying, I can get that. Mm-hmm. I can do that.
I'm going to tell y'all
But the
something.
body says, no, you can't. You think you can, but you can't.
If y'all ever get a chance, and I'm serious, see, this is the thing about it. If you ever get a chance, sit down with a smart guy. See,
I sit down with three of them every day.
No, not you. I'm talking about him and him. Go sit down in a session with Sean Lee. Go sit down with, don't mess around. I'm serious. Say, Sean, I'm such and such with the Cowboys, da-da-da. I want to sit down with you and walk me through a film session, please. And, brother, you will marvel. You will marvel. And then when you come out of that meeting and you watch the game, you be like, how this dude didn't know this right here? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm talking about a next level guy. I ain't talking about, and you'll be telling me like, man, Nate, now you're wrong. This dude's supposed to did this because I've talked to Sean Lee and I'm serious because they will explain it to you in a player's way because they have to. A great coach, his greatest attributes is the dumbest guy in the room is going to understand it. I promise you, the dumbest guy in the room going to understand it. It's called communication, translation, and transferring it from coach to player to field. And however you have to do that, Jimmy Johnson had great teachers. They were always teaching us. They were always teaching us. They were always teaching us. Why are we doing this, coach? This is why we're doing this. This is why we always teaching. Okay, you can't get it in the classroom, Nate. We need to take it out on the field. Let's do it for Nate. Everybody like, yeah, but I need to know. I need to do it on the field. I was like, like Jesse said, 1 minute I'm big blocking, and the next minute I'm writing in cursive. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on, man. You cannot tell me that a player that has went over the same defense for all the offseason, all the training camp, and get in a game and see something, I'm just gonna jump this route. Well, what you doing to your safety back there?
Especially if you're not communicating it.
Come on, man.
All right, now that we've depressed y'all and told you this.
Yeah, we need some positive.
I'm going to give you some positive
Well, Ray
stuff
Lewis is a positive.
while we wait on Coach Garrett. All right?
Where we going with this?
Couple of things that Nick is putting in his article. A couple of positive things.
Why we can't have his article?
I gave you because he didn't write one with big facts in it.
This has big
so
facts. He's trying to dog you with little facts.
That's all right.
Some people got big facts. Some people got little facts. I mean, I don't dictate that.
Yeah.
All right. Of the last 5 times the Cowboys have released a kicker in midseason in favor of another one, the team has made the playoffs all but once. The first change occurred in '93 as Eddie Murray not only replaced Lynn Elliott, but hit arguably the most important field goal in regular season history, beating the Giants en route to a Super Bowl title.
Yes, sir. I remember that.
All right. So there you go. I'm not going to go through everything else, but Maher's been replaced by Kai Forbath.
That's a good sign.
Here's something that's really interesting. I did not know this. All right. The Cowboys, if they can somehow get in the fourth quarter with a lead, they should be in pretty good shape. Did you know they rank second in the NFL in points allowed at just 45 in the fourth? And they rank second in points scored in the fourth quarter with 114. And their 69-point advantage in the final quarter is the most among all 32 teams. I get the offensive part because you've been playing from behind in a lot of these games. I didn't know the defensive part. So the stats say if you can
Yeah,
somehow get a lead going into the fourth, you're in pretty good shape.
So what you're saying is don't let them score 24 or 26 and answer points.
You need to lead at halftime with this team.
I think with this team,
they're 19-2 or either 19-1 with a halftime lead.
Yeah, something like
the
that.
Dallas Cowboys.
I think
the numbers. The numbers are
the numbers.
They're bloated numbers. The offensive numbers are up in the fourth quarter,
right? Because they're playing from behind.
And by that time, the team is already up 3 touchdowns. So all they're doing is prevent.
Yep.
Listen, just make them eat up clock. Don't give nothing over top of your head. Make them eat up clock. We'll tackle everything in front of us.
What do you think, since we're going to be running short on time after Garrett, what are your keys to the game, Kurt?
Oh, God. I don't.
All right, let's start with Nate. What are your keys to the game?
You got to have janitor keys. You got to have all those keys.
Yeah, just no turnovers, defense.
The defense
come to play.
Everything.
You know.
See, but it's no wrong here, because what he's saying is very much true.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense has to show up with turnovers.
I know how you feel about Gurley.
Yeah.
Would you sell out on defense to stop Gurley and take your chances with Goff?
Yes, I would, because their team is their coach even told you,
right?
Without this dude here, or the threat of this dude here, we ain't having it. So if the coach said it and you see it on film, why are you not gonna believe it? Well, that happened in New England. Lord, geez.
Jesse, what's your key or keys?
Man, honestly, at this point in time, like it's just
you lost for words.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was over here thinking like, all right, what could be a good just? I'm gonna be honest with you, like
there's too many keys. Like you fumbling around.
I'm telling you, janitor
Defense,
keys, man. To me, I know that you love the defense side of the ball. I'm a biased offensive guy of the ball. This team is built offensively. All the money is spent.
I agree
offensively.
100%. Yes, it is.
But, the guy who they get ready to get paid the most, step up, bro.
Dak.
Yeah.
Step up, bro.
So you think this game's on Dak?
Every game's on Dak.
Yeah.
This is the pressure. This is
the league we're in.
Yes, this is where we're at.
This is where you make your money, right?
Franchise
Prove your worth.
quarterback. You think the games aren't on the shoulders of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes,
and
Sean
Tom
Watson?
Brady, he shoulders it and lets you know after every game. This year, I've seen Tom Brady talk more. This year, like, man, I need some weapons. What are we doing?
So I mean. You think the Ravens are what they are without Lamar? It's always on the quarterback.
It is, man.
Especially when you have a good one. I think we have a pretty good one. So if you have to go do it, whatever it takes.
If it's 3rd and 3, go get
Whatever
the 3.
it takes.
If it's 3rd and 5, go get the 5. If it's 3rd and you got to throw it deep, throw it deep. Whatever it takes. Don't. And just I'll say that I'll ask this question: as you become mature as a quarterback, and more important as to your team's existence, you got to be aware of game situations more than anybody, right?
Man, Lamar Jackson waved off the punt team last night.
There's Coach
There's
Garrett.
Coach right there, man.
We'll be right back. Listen to this.
How we doing, guys?
Good. Will Sean be able to do anything today?
Sean probably won't do much today. He's certainly making progress, though.
Is it a normal Friday for him where he is taking the time off, or is it related to the other stuff?
Well, on the days he's taking Friday off, he's typically practiced on Wednesday and Thursday, so he hasn't been able to practice the last couple of days. So interpret that as you will. He's just not going to be able to practice today, and again, we think he's making some progress, though.
Where has Luke Gifford gotten more work if he has this week?
Really, it's all hands on deck because Leighton hasn't been able to practice and Sean hasn't been able to practice, so we don't have many left. So those guys are all rotating around.
I know he hadn't played much, Luke, but what's impressed you about his rookie season so far has gone by?
Yeah, just right from the start, you could tell he was a football guy, smart, tough, understands the game. He's picked things up quickly, and unfortunately, he was out at different times and missed some valuable reps, but certainly goes about it the right way, and he's shown up. He's made some plays for us.
Waiting until yesterday, you showed them video of them making good plays in the past, films of them making good plays. Now they look when they play well. What's the benefit of that? And do they need that reinforcement?
Oh, I think that's stuff that coaches do all the time. You're always trying to show them what the standard is, and when you as a player, you as a team uphold that standard, that's always something that I think is valuable to reinforce. Coaching is a lot about positive reinforcement. It's about negative reinforcement. This isn't up to standard. We need to be honest and accountable to that. At the same time, this is up to standard. This is what we're looking for. So I think you're always trying to do that. We probably do that as coaches virtually every day in some form or another.
What have you guys missed without having Heath?
Jeff's just been a good player for us. He's a smart player. He's a good communicator on the back end, gets everybody playing together, and also he plays well. He shows up in the run game, shows up in the pass game, around the ball. He's a physical player. He has a presence back there. So, DT has done a nice job when he's gotten opportunities, but hopefully we'll have Jeff back. He'll practice today, and we'll just see how he does leading into the ball game.
How much of it was Heath and Antoine in terms of the run game?
Again, those guys are starters for a reason. We like both those guys. Jeff's done a really good job in the back end. Antoine has done a very good job up front for us. He's been a playmaker for us, really good at just kind of doing his job, but also making some plays beyond that. He seems to be around the ball a lot and does a lot of good things, both defending the run and the pass. So, the next man up just goes in there, and that's the approach that we take. The next guy is responsible and accountable for those jobs, but it's always good to get healthy and get some of your guys back.
Jason, the Rams have used Todd Gurley more in the last month, and it seems to be really effective for it. How are they a different team with Gurley running?
Yeah, he's an elite player. He's a great football player, and anybody who's had to go against him throughout his career recognizes that. And like most teams, the Rams' offense is best when they're attacking different ways, and that starts with their ability to run the football. And he's a big-time runner, and they do a great job with their front. But when he has the ball in his hands, typically good things are happening, and then a lot of the other things they want to do in their offense kind of comes off of that.
How do you, when you have a new kicker like you do, what are the conversations that you have with Kai to say, where are you comfortable from distance-wise? Is that just a pregame thing, like when they get out there early, or do you have these conversations during the week?
Yeah, I just think it's a process of getting to know each other. Obviously, he's a veteran kicker who's been around a little bit. We actually had him his rookie year for a while, so we know him, and you try to develop those relationships as you go. And he kicked on Wednesday. Typically, we don't have our kickers kick on Thursday. He'll kick again today, so it's just an ongoing process to get to know each other.
Chris Jones, how's he been this week? Any concern about him for the game?
No real concern. He's been able to punt, and has punted well really all week long.
Guys have talked about complimentary football. Dak has mentioned that a couple of times that you just haven't been able to play that enough at times this year. How do you get back to that and not get into if something doesn't go right for the offense, where you go, here we go again, if something doesn't go right for the defense, oh, here we go again?
Yeah, it's a big part of our game. One of the great things about the NFL is that it's hard, it's competitive every play. The guy across from you is good, and you're going to win some battles over the course of a game, and he's going to win some battles over the course of a game, and your unit's going to win some battles, and their unit's going to win some battles. And so you just have to keep playing, and you have to handle the success of the game. That's mental toughness. You have to handle the adversity of the game. That's mental toughness. The adversity you put on yourself or picking up the other unit. Something happens to the defense. Hey, it's our job on offense to go back out there and make a play. Vice versa. We don't get the job done offensively. Hey, defense's job. Or in the kicking game. So the best teams we've all been around do that on a consistent basis.
Are there ways that the coaches can impact that in terms of, all right, we need to protect our defense a little bit here. So on offense, in 2014, I think we always thought you controlled the clock, you controlled the tempo of the game with your run game. That made everything else better. Are there situations where you guys need to do a better job of that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're trying to do that every week. It's how we win this particular game, and you certainly have a formula for how you want to build your team to win games on a consistent basis. But the approach is always, how do we win this game? What's this approach, and how do we play that complementary football?
How would you assess the pass rush the last couple of weeks?
Can always be better.
You seeing more match protect, or is this guys just not doing what they need to do?
Oh, I think most teams see a variety of different protections. Sometimes they like to get everybody out and get the ball out of their hand quickly. Sometimes it's play actions or movements. Sometimes it's blocking 6, 7, 8 guys. So we're no different than anybody else. Teams try to protect a lot of different ways against us.
Right, when other analysts have noted that defensively you guys don't disguise what you do. Teams know what you do, and they're able to make plays against that. Is that a fair assessment, or do you need to do more disguise on defense what you're doing, the coverages and what you're doing?
Yeah, I think it's important to try to affect the opposing offense a lot of different ways. And I think that the first way to do that is through execution. But you certainly need variety. You need variety in your fronts. You need a variety in your pressures. You need variety in your coverages, and you need to disguise those things. Once the ball turns over, though, and snaps, it's about execution. So, what you do prior to that with your call, with the package you have in that week, your front, your pressures, your coverage, the stuff that you're rotating through on the ball game, making them look the same, and then after the snap, you kind of get to what you're doing. I think that's been a part of what we try to do forever.
So you wouldn't say that has not been an issue. The team kind of know what you're doing and taking advantage of it.
Again, we always want to do that better. You want to have a variety of things that you do. You don't want to play one front, have one pressure, and play one coverage. The league's too good for that. But you want to have a variety, and then you want to disguise that variety. And ultimately, when the ball snaps, you got to execute. All right, good to see you guys.
All right. That was Coach Garrett. He gave us about 2 minutes to work with. So we got Mama Gross on the phone. Mom, what's up?
Hey, how are y'all?
Great. We got to go quick. So give us your pick. How'd you do last week?
4-1. I won 4 and lost 1.
What's that bring you to overall?
39 wins, 26 losses.
It's not bad. It's a lot of jelly beans.
I know.
All right, let's run through them real quick. You got about a minute.
Okay. LSU's not playing this week, so I've got 4 games. The Seahawks and the Panthers. Seahawks are giving up 6. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Okay. Seahawks minus 6. All right.
Okay, the Colts and the Saints, and I know what Shannon's already writing.
Yeah, New Orleans.
The Saints are minus 9, and I think they're going to cover that without any problem.
Of course.
Dolphins and the New York Giants. I wasn't going to pick this game, but Eli's coming back, and they're giving up 3.5. They're at home. I'm going with the Giants.
Giants minus 3.5. All right.
And then the Falcons and the 49ers. The 49ers are giving up 11, but I'm going to stay with the 49ers.
All right. Minus 11. Okay.
And then we got the Cowboys and the Rams. And I just have to believe, unless they've changed things drastically, this is the one time that I'm going with the Rams.
Oh, no! Wow. What's the points?
1. So they're basically even. Heads up.
The Rams are getting 1?
No, the Rams are giving up 1 point.
Rams minus 1. That's surprising.
They coming in your house.
They usually get 3, right, for being a home game, right?
I thought they'd be. All right, Mom. We got to go. Sorry to cut you off. We got another show right behind us.
Good to hear from you, ma'am.
Good talking
you too.
to you.
I love you guys. Y'all be good.
All right, Mom. Have a good one. Kurt, what you got this week?
I guess I'm like Mama Gross. It pains me. And like you said before, they just at this point they got to show something. So I'll take the Rams.
Score
35-24.
35-24. Nate.
Oh, Cowboys, man, all day, every day. For the life of me, I cannot go another way.
By how
many?
Way to
go, Coach Johnson.
By how many?
By just enough to win, whatever it takes.
by half a point. Cowboys by half a point. Jesse.
I do think the Cowboys will probably come out and win this game. But I'm not picking them. Right. This is the game that they come out and win and look like, oh my God, they dominated. I'm not picking them. Rams 32, Cowboys 17.
Kyle.
Rams 30, Cowboys 20.
And I'm going to go Rams 34, Cowboys.
You know what, man?
21.
Y'all, for the life of me, man, I don't understand y'all. For really, I don't.
Why? Because we use our head
here
and not our heart.
To your reasoning over there.
Yeah, about
no, I didn't give you. I didn't give y'all.
You've been so positive all week.
I didn't give y'all good stuff.
You've been positive all week.
Did I not give y'all good stuff?
It was great.
Okay.
We loved you this week.
Listen,
you did a great job.
I've only been working with this show for 14 weeks, but this was the best week that you gave.
Jess, that's why we hired you, so I could have fun over here.
Thanks, Kurt. Jesse, thanks for being here, man. Nate, thanks for bringing it. Sorry the show was kind of weird today. Kyle, thank you for keeping us on the air. Caden, stay away. Hopefully we come back with a Cowboys victory on Monday.
Hopefully.
We've been hanging with the boys. See you Monday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?